Are you ready to embrace the best years of your life? Well, welcome to Boomers and Beyond, the podcast that celebrates the 55 plus community and everything this exciting chapter has to offer. Everyone, I'm your host, Antionette Blake, better known as the DE Diva, and every week I'll dive into topics that matters to us the most. From health and wellness, travel, family dynamics, finances, family, friends. We're going to explore them all. Going to have some good advice, but I'm going to ask for yours as well, because there'll be lively topics about aging vibrantly, building strong relationships, and guess what? Making the most of retirement. So go grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea, even wine or juice, and settle in with me as we navigate this exciting world of boomers and beyond. And don't forget, subscribe to the show and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And share it with your family, your friends, your bae, and your boo too, because this conversation is all about you and me. So let's get started with Boomers and Beyond. Hello, and welcome back to the show. This is episode number 37 of Boomers and Beyond. And I'm your host, Antionette Blake, better known as the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger. And I'm here to help you navigate this exciting chapter of your life. Spring has sprung. Yes, it is in the air. It is time for new beginnings and fresh starts. And what a better way to embrace the season than with a little financial spring cleaning. That's right. We're going to get in here and talk about our finances, how we can declutter them, dusting off some old habits, planting those seeds for a secure and prosperous future. All right. First things first, let's tackle the budget. Yep. Go back to episode 17 and we talked about the travel budget. So I know we all want to go someplace. So I have some tips for traveling on a budget. But just like our trips in our homes, we can accumulate so much clutter, right? Finances can become cluttered. Now it's time to take a good, hard look, especially in today's world, as to where our money is going. Now, if you've not done this before, I know we all do this. We are old school. We need to continue to or start tracking our spending. There are budgeting apps if you want to use your smartphone. You can create a spreadsheet on Google. I have a spreadsheet called Budget, and I update it every month. You might even just want to use a pad and a paper and a pencil and a notebook, a spiral notebook. Any way that works best for you to track your income and your expenses. And doing that, you're going to be surprised at where your money, those dollars, are actually going to. Yeah, I know those weekly trips to Aldi, or those weekly trips to Dollar Tree, or those weekly trips to the movies, or those weekly trips to the fast food, wherever you go, track them so you can see where you can cut back on. And once you do that, you can identify any unnecessary expenses. Now, they're always talking about these apps that's going to help you with subscriptions that you no longer use. Check it out, because there may be things that you signed up for, back in 2020, and you're still paying for it in 2025, even if it's an annual subscription. Look at them, cancel them if you don't need it. Can you cut back on, dining out or entertainment? I know you retired, you're in your golden years, you want to go out and you want to enjoy yourself, but things are so costly. There's a lot of things you can do to cut back on that as well. Trim the fat, cook more at home. I love cooking. Yes, I cook Sunday through Friday. Weekends, I give myself a break. But can you cut out some of these unnecessary expenses by just dining out all the time? And then when you do that, you can then create a realistic budget. Align your income and your goals and make sure that you include saving for retirement if you're not there yet, saving for emergencies, and saving for those fun things that you just want to do. I was talking to one of my besties about doing like a weekend getaway, just, the four of us, the two couples. So we got to find something that's going to fit our budget. So that's the first thing you want to talk about is your budget. That's the first thing that you want to get cleaned out. That's your budget. Now, downsizing. Let's talk about that. In episode 33, I talked about deciding to downsize. So, as we're moving into this new phase of life, our priorities and our needs change. So it might be time to assess or reassess our living situation and consider downsizing, which is what we did in 2019. Yes, I told you this. We had the McMansion in Middletown, the half acre, the pool, all the rooms, and it took me forever to get things cleaned up. My husband was out there doing yard work and shoveling snow. I mean, it just became too much and too costly. So that's why we decided to downsize and have a ranch built here in Smyrna, Delaware. Let me tell you something. I've written about this before, but it ain't no joke. I can get my cleaning done in less than a couple of hours. I mean, the whole house, vacuuming, dusting, cleaning the bathroom, the toilet, everything in less time, in half the time, or in a quarter of the time that I did when I lived in a larger home. So a smaller home also means lower costs. Now today, I don't know what's going on with this electric company. We are spending more in electric now than we did in that big old house we had that is twice the size. So these companies are getting ridiculous. So if I was paying like up to $500 in Middletown, I can only imagine what they're paying now. So now if you're thinking about lower costs, a smaller home can reduce your housing expenses. And that can free up money for you to travel. Yes, leave and go someplace. Find an Airbnb for the weekend, whatever the case may be. And also, less stuff, less stress. Yep. Downsizing also means decluttering your belongings. Getting rid of things that you no longer need or use can be liberating and reduce stress. And I'm still learning that. I mean, my husband just built a new entertainment center, like for a TV stand. And I asked him, I said, what are you going to do with the other TV stand? Put it over there? He's like, no, we need to get rid of it. So I'm going to go to Nextdoor, the app, the Nextdoor, and I'm going to post it to see if anyone would like to buy it, because we cannot keep this stuff. I've got so much stuff that I still need to get rid of. So I'm doing that little by little, especially clothes. I look at these shirts and pants. I'm like, I haven't worn them since we moved here. Time to get rid of them. And then when you're downsizing, really don't think about downsizing. Think about right sizing your life to fit your current needs and lifestyle. If you no longer have a 9-to-5, you don't need those suits. You don't need all the pantyhose, all that stuff, the heels. Yeah. Hey, I ain't even going to talk about the heels I need to get rid of. I've already gotten rid of some. I need to get rid of more because I keep buying them. But whatever. That's another story for a different day. So yes, downsizing works. Get rid of that, the lower the cost with the smaller house, less stuff, less stress, and you're right sizing your life. Now, this is one that my husband and I are really, really getting, together on. Estate planning. I know it's not the most pleasant topic, but it's an important one, especially as you get older. If you don't have a will, you need to get a will. Will and trust. Make sure you have a will or a trust in place to ensure your assets are distributed according to your wishes. We have 2 sons. Our oldest is intellectually disabled. We got to make sure that he has what he needs for his future. So we have our will. Now we have to create a trust. So I'm working on that. I'm going to find a lawyer because it's something that you need to have done by someone with legal expertise. Look at your beneficiaries. They may have changed. Review them and see, who do you have? I have my younger son as my beneficiary. I want him on my retirement accounts, on my life insurance policies, because of course, if my husband is here, he's my first beneficiary. But, if we no longer here, then it has to go to someone else. So I made my son to make sure that he takes care of the oldest son. And a power of attorney. You might need a power of attorney, somebody that you can trust to make financial and healthcare decisions on your behalf if you're unable to do so. So if it's not your spouse or your significant other, who is it going to be? And last, let's talk about this. Investments. It's vital. It is important to have a diversified investment portfolio that aligns with your risk tolerance and financial goals. Our risks were, greater when we were younger, but now, oh my gosh, with what's going on in the economy, we cannot take any chance. I'm looking at the Dow Jones. I'm looking at the stock market. It's like a roller coaster, and it's crazy. If you need to seek professional advice, do so. I have someone that I work with, and if you want to know who that person is, leave me a comment and I'll share the information. I don't want to push anybody on you or for you during this podcast, but consider consulting with a financial advisor who specializes in retirement planning. That is so important because they know what your needs are going to be for the future, whether you have 401 or a pension or just Social Security. Work with someone that's going to help you so that you're not worried about your finances as you're getting older. And speaking of getting older, we are getting older. I am so excited. I see people celebrating their 100th birthday, the 103rd birthday, the 115th birthday. Hey, if you live right and do right, and hey, you might be around here for a long, long time. So make sure you have the money to stick with you when you're here as well. And again, stay informed. I know it's scary watching those market trends and those options of investments, but you have to stay informed. AARP is great when it comes to that. Go on there, look at their information about budgets and investments if you're not really sure what you should do with your retirement money. And last but not least, don't panic, right? I know I look at it, I get crazy, but this is just short-term market fluctuations. It's not long-term. Yeah, we know what's going on, and we know what's probably going to be going on for the next 4 years. I'm not going to get into that right now, but just know that this is just now. But if you take, some time to get your budget and finances right now, spring clean, get rid of those subscriptions, cut back on certain things, you'll be fine. You will be fine. I know you got this. So that's my tips for spring cleaning your finances. And remember, it's never too late to take control of your financial future. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, when you retire, when you will retire. This is time to do something now. So thank you again for spending some time with me here on Boomers and Beyond. Enjoy this beautifully blessed day. I want to thank you all for tuning in today's episode of Boomers and Beyond. I hope you enjoyed the show. And don't forget, subscribe and leave a comment and share it with your friends. You can find me on all my social media platforms. And you know what? This podcast is on Apple and Spotify and Google and iHeart. They're all out there. Just ask for Boomers and Beyond. And if you have a question or a topic suggestion, send an email to me at ablake48@gmail.com. And if there's a topic that you want me to explore on this show, make sure you leave that as well. I'm also actively seeking sponsors who cater to the amazing 55 plus community. So if you have a business or a service that aligns with my listeners' interests, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email. You know how to do that. ablake48@gmail.com. Don't forget, join us next Saturday for another exciting episode packed with information and inspiration for living your best life after 55. Boomers and Beyond is hosted by Buzzsprout, and the music is by Mass O Beats from freetouse.com. See ya, it's the DE Diva.